welcome. This is the Wednesday Word of Wisdom. Now, before we get really any further, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can also read this on my blog or listen to it as a podcast on your favorite podcast provider. And hey, I'd love to connect with you on social media. My Facebook and Instagram links are right here. Today, I really want to talk about mental health and really how we can actually support somebody who is walking through a challenge within their mental health. This can be anybody in your life. This could be you, yourself, and how you need to help yourself and support yourself. This could be your partner, your best friend, could even be, your mom or dad or sibling. Our mental health is so important. And if you are somebody who struggles with mental health, you know just how difficult it can be, especially if you feel like you're dealing with it alone and you're not getting the support that you need. Our mental health impacts our physical health. It impacts on our environment, on those around us. This is why I decided to speak on this topic, because on the other end of things, somebody who has never struggled with mental health might have a difficult time walking through that with somebody else or talking through that if they don't really understand what the other person is going through. It can be hard. It can be hard for us to put ourselves in the shoes of another person when we don't really understand what it is that they're going through. And the reality is that we don't necessarily have to understand. What we do have to do is intentionally set aside time for those people. Set aside time just to chat with them, to talk with them. Sometimes it's just being an uplifting voice to that person. Sometimes it's giving them space to vent, to dump, to explore what's going on in their world. But the reality is if you've ever struggled with anything, you know that it is important to feel like you have a safe space that has no judgment, no distractions, where you can really be you, you can feel your feelings, and it's safe to do that. Dealing with mental health can feel really lonely at times, and even just getting to talk with somebody can really help us to feel less lonely. And really, we can share as much or as little as we need. And you know what? If you're the support person, is allowing that space, allowing space just to be quiet, allowing space for that person to share whatever it is that they need to share, and not really putting pressure on them to tell you things that maybe they're not ready to talk about. Talking takes a lot of trust and a lot of courage. And so then using active listening in that is actually going to be really helpful, because when we can just ask some questions and get curious and use empathy and validate how they're feeling, it creates some of that safe space. But that's why also we don't give our opinions, we don't give our feedback, we don't give advice unless we're actually asked. And even then, a lot of times we can come back with a question. Within that is also to not try and guess what the other person might be feeling or make those assumptions, right? We don't want to diagnose or give solutions. We just want to have these open-ended questions. And not in a grilling kind of way, just a curiosity, like a help me understand. I just want to be able to kind of see where you're coming from, what you're thinking and what you're feeling. We can even explore ways that we are working on, de-stressing or practicing self-care, because you know what, the other person might find that helpful or think about something that they hadn't thought of before. Kind of the idea of promoting healthy lifestyle, exercising, healthy diet, drinking lots of water, sleeping well. They all help with our mental health. I know that this time has been really rough on a lot of people. The last year and a half that we've all had to walk through has been really tough on people. And even now, there's so many unknowns. The future still can look scary. But all of this time, for so many people, we've been acting in a way that creates additional levels of anxiety and depression. So even if you haven't been prone to experiencing those feelings, for a lot of us, we are walking through that, and we're really challenged with what we're having to face on a day-to-day basis.
For some people, it's really loneliness. For other people, it's burnout. Let's really start talking about it and really start listening well to what other people are bringing to the table in a non-judgmental kind of way. So many organizations and places are promoting mental health awareness or saying that they are big proponents of mental health supports, but we're not really seeing that acted out on a day-to-day basis. And if we are all in this together, let's do this thing. Let's start supporting one another. Let's start creating greater awareness, safety, encouragement, supportive atmospheres where people feel not judged and are able to start to explore what it is that they've been experiencing. Your mental health is important. The people around you, their mental health is very important. Let's work together. There's strength in numbers. They say one is the loneliest number. So let's rally together. Like I said, you don't have to understand, you just have to get curious.
Get your daily dose of motivation on the Motivational Moments with Michelle podcast. In Motivation with Michelle podcast, you'll get encouraging, uplifting, and life-changing wisdom that will transform your world at your fingertips, 24 hours a day. Get a fuller, deeper revelation of the tools you can implement to see incredible transformation in your life from Michelle Neustadter's powerful teachings. Tune in whenever you need to be edified, uplifted, or a dose of motivation, no matter where you are. Subscribe to Motivational Moments with Michelle podcast with Michelle Neustadter today on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or SoundCloud. Is there so much turmoil in your thinking that it feels like your mind is an actual battleground? You have trouble falling asleep because it just won't shut off? Or you wake up in the middle of the night and can't get back to sleep because of all the thoughts? Or maybe you notice that you worry all the time, constantly thinking about the worst case scenario or all of the what ifs that could happen. And probably not getting the results that you would like in life, feeling like something needs to change. Well, that makes sense because how we think determines whether we win or lose in life. In the program Wevolve by Michelle Neustadter, we'll walk you through how to get back in control or maybe get control for the first time of our thoughts, our emotions, and the results we are getting in our lives. If you want tomorrow to be different than today, you are going to have to do something today to make tomorrow different. Otherwise, you don't have a new tomorrow, you simply have a longer today. Don't miss out. Go to extremeexcellence.ca and click Wevolve to get into this revolutionary program. Plus, for a limited time, if you complete this program and give your testimonial, Michelle will even refund you 50% of your enrollment fee. What do you have to lose? Space is limited. Secure your spot today.